So if you click this, you're probably wondering who in the world is the Antichrist?
Mm-hmm.
Same question that many people have. Today, we're going to be talking about who the Antichrist is. When is he coming? Where is he at?
Mm-hmm.
Who is he? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Who is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it even a person?
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
So, who is the Antichrist? Now, before we can even figure out who the Antichrist is,
Mm-hmm.
we need to get the identity of this Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the biblical identity of the Antichrist?
Mm-hmm.
Acts chapter 20, verse 29 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "For I know this, that after my departure, savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock."
Mm-hmm.
So Paul pretty much breaks this down to the church. Continuing on, "Also from among yourselves, men will rise up speaking perverse things to draw away the disciples after them." So in other words, there will be men from the church that will act as God's messenger.
Yep.
But they're really there to draw people away from God.
That's right.
So that's the first thing.
Yep.
Now, the word Antichrist, can you tell us a little bit more about that? What is the word Antichrist?
Of course, the word Antichrist means in the Strong's Concordance, Antichristos. There's two meanings. One is one who puts himself in the place of God, and two, a personal opponent of Christ, of God, expected to appear before the end of the world. So, or against God, right? So there's two meanings. So it's found 4 times, the word Antichrist, singular, and 1 time plural, all found in 1 John and 2 John.
Yeah.
So basically, anyone who denies Christ can be Antichrist. But there is a specific Antichrist, right? Because there were Antichrists before and things of that nature. And you can find that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3 and 4. And I can read it to you right here. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3 and 4. "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come in a fallen away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." So definitely this is a biblical narrative.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about that to you today.
And I think that's a huge point that you just brought out, which is the key,
Yep.
is that the way he opposes God
Mhm.
is that he tries to take the place
Of God.
of God.
Yep. Mhm.
So in this situation, this Antichrist is not necessarily against
Yep.
God in the sense that it's like, oh, I'm going to go against God and not be with him. No. He tries to take the place of God.
Yeah, and another point is there's a lot of speculation that the Antichrist will sit on the third temple of Israel. It's actually based on the verse that we just read that a lot of people speculate on. So just for you guys to see.
Yeah. In fact, I want you to jump to John chapter 17. In John chapter 17, this is key. Actually, you don't have to go there, but there's a verse in John chapter 17, and it's verse 12. Now, this is connected to Judas. In John chapter 17, verse 12, it actually calls Judas the son of perdition. And you just read a key word, which is the son of perdition, which is linked to the Antichrist. Now, the reason why the Antichrist is called the son of perdition, I believe, is because he's going to be like Judas. Like Judas was a disciple of Jesus.
Right.
He was a disciple of Jesus.
Interesting.
And he appeared to what? Be one of them.
Okay.
You see that? He appeared to be one of them, but what he did is he betrayed them. And so this same person will betray from within the church and not without. So this Antichrist must be within the church.
Yep.
And so
Okay.
Judas betrayed with a kiss, but the Antichrist will be a religious betrayer from within.
Mercy.
Just like Judas.
Excellent point. Let's go to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25, considering this. Because Daniel 7 verse 25, and it says, "And he shall speak pompous words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and the times and the dividing of the time."
Okay.
So the word pompous, it means boastful, right? It means boastful. So this is talking about the same thing that we talked about in 2 Thessalonians, right? But who exalts himself. So this is very well connected. But go ahead.
No, I just want to add to what you're saying is that there's a list of different names for the Antichrist.
Okay, yes,
There's
please.
a list of different names. In fact, I'm going to give you 6 different names for the Antichrist. What you said already, man of sin, 2 Thessalonians 2:3.
Yep.
Lawless one, 2 Thessalonians 2:8. Sea beast, Revelation 13, 1 through 10. Son of perdition, 2 Thessalonians 2, 3.
Yep.
The little horn, Daniel 7, 8. That's what we're about to get into. And number 6 is Babylon, the mother of harlots, Revelation 17, 5. And so that's just a list of 6 different names that was given to the Antichrist.
Good point. Thank you so much for that. So, does the Bible give points of identifying the Antichrist?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, as you jump into this, I just want to mention one thing.
Yep.
You might be thinking, why is this brother in Daniel? We were just talking about Revelation.
Right.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel and Revelation are the 2 apocalyptic books. So the thing is that those 2 books need to be studied together.
Yep.
Because Revelation is built off of a broad foundation in the Old Testament. That's huge.
Yep.
And so when you put the puzzle together with Revelation, there's some pieces from the puzzle that fit in with Daniel. So that's one of the reasons we're in Daniel right now.
Excellent point. Yep. Very good. So the little horn would come. So the little horn would come up among them. That is from among the 10 horns that were the kingdoms of Western Europe in Daniel chapter 7 and verse 8. So it will be a little kingdom somewhere in Western Europe. That's first point. So we're going to be giving out some pointers, and you yourself can study this for yourself. Don't take it from us, right? And by the way, a lot of other people talk about this. Other reformers like John Wycliffe, like Martin Luther, and they all actually say these same exact things.
Yes.
So don't just take it from us, but study it from yourself. So, and then B, it would have a man at his head who could speak for it, Daniel 7 and verse 8. C, it would pluck out or uproot 3 kingdoms, Daniel 7 and verse 8 again, right? So and then D, it would be different from the other 10 kingdoms, Daniel 7 verse 24. And then E, it would make war with and persecute the saints. We kind of talked about that, but this is also found in Daniel 7 verse 21 and 25. And then F, it would emerge from the pagan Roman Empire, the 4th kingdom, when you study that, Daniel 7 verse 7 and 8. And God's people, the saints, would be giving into his hand for a time and a times and half of a time, Daniel 7 and verse 25. And then the next hint, it would speak great words against or blaspheme God. We kind of talked about that, but this is also found in Daniel 7 and verse 25. And in Revelation 13:5, the Bible says that the same power speaks great things and blasphemes. And what does the word blaspheme mean, Cal? Just because it keeps repeating here.
Yeah. The word blaspheme means to pretty much put the name in the dirt.
Right. Okay.
Right. To stomp it down in the dirt. Blasphemia is the original word where it comes from in the Greek. Blasphemia.
Very good. Okay. Perfect. And then it will intend to change times and laws. These are really, really big hints of who the Antichrist is. Daniel 7 and verse 25. So we just want you guys to not forget, all these identification points come directly from the Bible. We just gave you all the Bible verses. They are not some human opinion or speculation. In fact, we just told you guys, historians could tell you quickly what power is being described as this, because these points fit only one power. Okay, and we're going to talk about it. And this is the papacy. Okay, the papacy. But in order to be certain, let's carefully examine all the 9 points one by one that we just gave, okay? And there must be no room left for us to doubt with this, okay? So, and it fits every point. Let's look at it. So A, it came up among the 10 kingdoms of Western Europe. When you look at the geographical location of Western Europe, bro, the papal power is in Rome, Italy, in the heart of Western Europe. So when we think about that, it's just like, hold on, whoa, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Again, it would have a man at his head who speaks for it. We found that in Daniel 7. The papacy meets these identifying mark because it does have only one man at its head. And who's that one man at his head? The Pope, who speaks for it, right? So again, we're going to get a little bit deeper here, but I want you guys to follow us. But we want to be thorough. That's why we want to get deeper and thorough so that there's no room for you to doubt, left to doubt. But we want you to study this. Be like the Bereans in Acts 17, where it says they studied it for themselves, what the preacher or what the person was talking about, or what this person and says and stuff like that, right? To see if it was true. C, you want to read C, Cal?
Yeah.
You want to? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so C tells us that it would pluck up 3 kingdoms. So the question is, did that happen?
Yep.
Absolutely. This actually happened in Western Europe. Yep. And what took place is there were 3 places of the 10 that were in Europe. The 3 places were the Ostrogoths, the Heruli, and the Vandals.
Yep.
Those were the 3 places. In fact, you don't know about them today because they've been plucked up. They're gone. They're not there today.
So this has literally happened.
This literally happened in history. Now, these names are actually different names than what we see today, because the names that we see today are a little bit different than they were back then. Like Germany, like that wasn't necessarily the name back then. That actually might have been one of the names that stuck. But there were a bunch of different names back during that time. But these 3 were destroyed, and they were put in a position where they weren't even able to defend themselves well. So they were just taken up. D, how about D? Now, D tells us it would be different from the other 10 kingdoms.
Yep.
Was that true? Did that happen?
Yep. I mean, when you think about it, the papacy clearly fits this description, right? Because as it came on the scene as a religious power, and it was different from the secular nature of the other 10 kingdoms. And when you look at the papacy, bro, they have their own like government. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just different from all the other, kingdoms out there, if that makes sense, right? So definitely it fits that.
Okay, and E tells us that it would make war.
Come on now,
persecute the saints.
Oh,
so if this is true, what you're saying, then it must do that.
Absolutely.
Did it ever do that?
Yes. So this church persecuted is a well-known fact, and the papacy admits doing so. They actually admitted this. Historians believe the church destroyed at least 50 million lives over matters of religious convictions.
My goodness.
We quote here from 2 sources. All right? This is from them. That the Church of Rome has shed more innocent blood than any other institution that has ever existed among mankind. Will be questioned by no Protestant who has competent knowledge of history. Okay? We'll give you all that, where this came from. And number 2, in the history of the Inquisition of Spain, D. Ivan Antonio Laurent provides these figures from the Spanish Inquisition alone. 31,912 persons were condemned and perished in the flames, and 241,450 were condemned to severe penances. It's wild. I mean, again, and you can also see this in history with the Waldensians, right? There were hundreds of thousands of Waldensians that were killed because of this power, right? Because of their religious, convictions, and things of that nature. It's like it was literally the Dark Ages, right? The Dark Ages. So, and also, okay, we just want to point this out. We just want to give you guys some words of care and concern, because, we're not attacking any sect of group or fellow Christians by identifying the little horn of power, because, please keep in mind, this is prophecy, right? And it's aimed at a system and not individuals, because there are some sincere, devout Christians, devout Catholics that are out there. In fact, I believe more, sincere than I've ever met some other people, right? Like literally sincere people, and they just could be sincerely, genuinely wrong. They just didn't know, right? Yeah. So we just wanted to point that out there, that Daniel 7 is simply a message of judgment and correction upon large religious institutions that compromise with paganism, as many as other churches have also done. So we just wanted to give you guys that disclaimer.
Yeah. Now, also it says that it would emerge, F says that it would emerge from the pagan Roman Empire, which is the 4th kingdom.
Yep.
Can you prove that to us?
For sure. This is coming from, this is here, this is a quote, and we'll give you guys where we got it from. The mighty Catholic Church, number 1, was little more than the Roman Empire baptized. The very capital of the old Roman Empire became the capital of the Christian Empire. The office of Pontifex Maximus was continued in that of Pope. All right, notice that. Number 2, whatever Roman elements the barbarians and Arians left came under the protection of the Bishop of Rome, who was the chief person there are after the emperor's disappearance. The Roman Church pushed itself into the place of the Roman world empire, of which it is the actual continuation.
Sheesh.
Yes, that's pretty deep, And yeah, by the way, we found that in History of the Rise and Influence of the Spirit of Rationalism in Europe, Volume 2 and 40. And then number 2 was Alexander Clarence Flick, The Rise of the Medieval Church, page 148 and 149.
Yeah. Now, also, so now that you've proven that, we're going to go to H. And we have just one more after that, which is I.
Yep.
So it says that this Antichrist power would speak great words against or blaspheme God. Did that happen?
Absolutely. So, number 1, when you look at Luke chapter 5 and verse 21, it's actually claiming to forgive sins. When the Bible says that Jesus is the only one, or God is the only one that can forgive sins. But when you look at the papacy, the system, they have these, these rooms. What are these rooms called? Confession rooms, right? That when we confess to them, they have the power to forgive sins. When you think about it, right? Because I have a lot of Catholic friends, my grandma and that side of the family, they were devout Catholics, right? So we just wanted to point that out too as well. And in John chapter 10 and verse 33, claiming to be God. And bro, there's actually quotes from the Pope himself that he says that he is God himself on this earth.
Yeah.
Like, that alone should tell you, like, hold on, man, that is blasphemous. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when someone says that I am taking the place of God or Christ on this earth as his representative, bro, that's dangerous. That is very dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we will actually bring that out in a part 2. Can't do it all in this episode because it'll be too long. But in a part 2, we'll prove that.
Yep. So, where else? Where we at? We're pretty much almost done. Yeah.
So I. So then I tells us that this power, this Antichrist power, would seek to change times and laws. Did it try to do that?
Absolutely. So when you look at it, it is a major topic and needs separate consideration. But what about the changing of the law, right? The Amplified Bible translates law as the law. The reference is to changing God's law. Of course, no one can really change it, but has the papacy attempted to do so? Notice this. The answer is yes. In its catechisms, the papacy has omitted the second commandment. Now, I challenge anybody to look at the Bible, to look at Exodus 20, verse, I believe, 8 through 12 or 8 to 10 or something like that, of the 10 Commandments. And then look at their catechism. Look at what the papacy or the Catholic Church are saying, what the Bible, what the commandments are. They actually omitted the second commandment against veneration of images and has shortened the fourth commandment from 94 words to 8 and the divided 10th commandment into 2 commandments. Literally check this for yourselves. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2 through 17, and look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I mean, okay, so who is this Antichrist?
Right. You tell me based on what we
so far,
based on what we studied.
What we have learned so far is that it's a power that's in place.
That's right.
Which would be
a system.
Papal Rome. Which would be the papacy. So it's a system.
Yep.
So then the question is, who is in charge of this system that is being ran? Can we pinpoint who that person is? We can. In part 2.
That's right.
So in part 2, we're going to have part 2 come out to this. You don't want to miss that. And we'll be able to link those things for you. But then the question is, how can I prevent going through, or how can I avoid falling into the trap of the Antichrist? Or falling into the trap of getting into this system? The whole point is to build a relationship with God.
That's right.
When you study your Bible and build relationships with God, you'll be able to identify the problems because you know your truth from the Bible well.
That's right.
So build a relationship with Jesus, and we have that, right? Check out this episode right here.
That's right. That's right.
So until next time, leave some comments, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We look forward to engaging with you in the comment section below. We'll see you at the next one. Peace.